I can you speak again?
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My voice may get slow because working on the software simultaneously.
So your voice is still
So
not clear. I'll change the headphones. Just wait.
screen. Let me share my screen first. Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Is it okay now? This
Yes,
has
sir.
been converted to the PowerPoint show slideshow.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Thank you everybody for joining me. I'm Mohammad Asif Shami, working as associate professor in Department of Statistics at FC College. I am working. Thank you, Gaur, for my introduction, and I'm very grateful to you for these all the comments. Let me start with the agenda for today. What I have with for you. What we are going to explore today is what is SPSS software. In fact, the basic definition of SPSS. What are the core feature of SPSS? The next will be SPSS industry uses cases, which advantages and some limitations. What is SPSS? SPSS is originally acronym for the Statistical Package for Social Sciences, but now it has changed its definition to Statistical Product and Service Solution. And its latest version is available, as per my knowledge, it is IBM SPSS 29. Why it has been changed? There is a huge story behind this. From the social sciences to service solution, it was originally launched by SPSS Incorporated in 1968, and now it was acquired by the IBM in 2009. It is a popular because of its simplicity, easy to follow command language, and well documented user manual. When it was launched, later on, its document was user manual launched by the SPSS Incorporated, and now it's very widely used because of it is very easy to learn, easy to apply, easy to follow, and easy to handle the commands. Fast visual modeling environment that range from the smallest to the most complex models. One of the most powerful and widely used tech tool in data analysis. I use it. It can be for marketing campaigns, project management, research, monitoring, evaluation, and many other fields like education and so on. Core features. It includes frequencies, are very basic cross tabulation and bivariate statistics. Although it can perform multivariate statistics too, but for the basic level, you can perform most very common. We are dealing with the Likert scale data, and we use to test the goodness of weight or chi-square like this to cross. This is a very good software to do that. Text analysis. This is the very important. Now the SPSS modular text analytics can help you to deal with the text analysis. There are so many softwares available like NVivo, which can do text analysis specifically built for the text analysis, but IBM SPSS modular can perform some similar sort tasks as performed by the NVivo. It can drive input through open-ended questionnaire. We are dealing in the qualitative data analysis. We all deal with the text analysis and we deal with the open-ended questionnaires like interviews. So IBM SPSS modular text analytics can help you drive insight from the qualitative input. Visualization designer is good as compared to the other spreadsheet softwares like Microsoft Excel. I'll take a bit time, but next I will convert to the original software. Descriptive statistics, what can be leveraged from the SPSS, it includes methodologies such as cross-tabulation as discussed, descriptive ratios, bivariate statistics, for example, non-parametric test, correlation, ANOVA, analysis of variance, and predicting numeral linear regression model. Cluster analysis can also be performed. Factor analysis is very important part of this. We perform factor analysis and PCA and EFA with the great predicting and identifying groups. Now I'm dealing with the advantages of the SPSS: dynamic use of table and graphs, effective data management. Both we can deal with the qualitative and quantitative data as well. For qualitative data, I request for the text analytics. Not required a lot of effort to start with the software. If you are very new, you can start by using the software easily. One of the easiest tools to analyze data. Graph type is very much easy and data distribution requirements are good. Now let me discuss about, was a question that were in the previous sessions. What is the comparison of the Microsoft Excel and the SPSS? So let me discuss about that. First, I will discuss Microsoft Excel. Excel is a spreadsheet software, usually general for general purpose, but IBM SPSS is like the spreadsheet software, but specifically designed for the statistical analysis. Microsoft Excel can perform statistical analysis too, but SPSS, IBM SPSS can perform the same statistical analysis in very much detail. If you want to recode or transform the data of your existing variables, it takes time in Microsoft Excel to deal with, but recoding and transformation is very much easy, and I must say very much easier as compared to Microsoft Excel in IBM SPSS. You have seen that the very first row in the Microsoft Excel is the names of the column, but in SPSS, the first name, the first row is not sacrificed, but every column has its own variable type, variable name, and everything can be defined. In Microsoft Excel, you cannot define the property of the variable, but in Microsoft IBM SPSS, you can define the nature and the properties of a variable, like if it is a Likert scale, nominal, ordinal, or scale variable. I'm quitting something, but let me. Okay. There was a question that what should be the statistical test. I will give a brief introduction, brief interpretation of this. If you have independent or related samples, start with the two, how many conditions you have. If you have more than two or only two conditions, then think about that. Are the variable independent or related? If the variable are independent, then discuss which type of data. On the very left side I'm dealing with which type of data it is. If it is scale for two independent variables, you can adopt independent t-test with the pool or separate variances, or if it is parametric test, then you can man-Winnie test. For two independent variables, if the variable type is nominal, the next big box over here, If type of data is nominal and that there are two variable, then the chi-square test of association is a very good technique to be adopted. Now, if the two variables, how many conditions? If there two conditions are related to each other, then we again go type of data, which type of data it is it scale or nominal? If it is scale, you can use the related t-test. We can say the paired sample t-test or non-parametric test is Wilcoxon sign test, Wilcoxon test and sign test. But if two conditions are related and that they are nominal, then we can use the best technique is McNamara test. And similarly, on the other hand, if the conditions are more than two, if there are more than two conditions to be under observation, then we go for the ANOVA. The next point is, are the two variables associated? In this case, association means not the association like in the you can say in ordinal data or the attributes or the qualitative data, but association or the relationship may exist in the quantitative data also. For example, if we have the data like the scale variable, if we have the scale variable, then Pearson correlation coefficient is a very good test to apply. If the data is ordinal, then we can go for the Spearman's rank correlation or Kendall-Tau statistics. If the data is nominal, then we observe that how many variables are there. If there are two, test chi-square for association or two-way contingency table or phi coefficient or Kramer's V rule. But if more than two variables are there, nominal, then we should go with the log linear analysis of multi-way contingency table. This is a bit difficult or we can complete complex test for the log linear analysis. The next type is prediction, means regression. This is very important. Many of the researchers use that regression, but they don't know how to use that. First of all, we discuss, is the target variable quantitative or qualitative? If it is qualitative, then go for the discriminant analysis or apply the logistic regression. But if it is quantitative, then we discuss how many regressors. Regressors mean how many variables. If there are two, we can go for the simple bivariate regression like y is equal to alpha plus beta plus epsilon error term. But if we have more than two regressors, more than two variables, then we adopt the multiple regression analysis technique. Um, I suggest, I requested you, I will not take too many slides. I don't have too many slides, but I have the software with me. So discuss with that. I will go with the basic descriptive analysis, but first we will go with the coding and the entering the data and then so on. But the basic descriptive analysis use frequencies, mostly used for the nominal and ordinal data. Descriptive for the scale variables, and explore is a good command to discuss about the quality or the basic properties of the variable. Now I will move on to the, for the time I'm stopping it and now moving to another document. Hold on. First of all, I will discuss a file with you that contains the basics of the what is the basic terminology is used in the data set. Then I will use the different SPSS data viewer and the add the data, how to use that. The first is This is the file, a data frame with 200 observation and 11 variables. First, I will discuss the variables used in the files. The variable name on the left hand is ID and its description is student ID. The next variable is gender with the description student's gender and the levels are male and female. Race means race. What is the race of the student? That is number one, Hispanic, number two, Asian, number two, African, number four, white. SCS, the next variable name is SCS, socio-economic status of the student's family. Number one is low. It has three levels: one low, two middle, three high. Why I have chosen this file? There is a reason, because this file contains nominal data, ordinal data, and ratio data, scale variable. The gender is usually treated as the nominal. Race, SCS, school type program, these will be dealt as the ordinal variable, and the read, write, math, science, and SOCST, these are the ratio variable, scale variable. The SCS means socioeconomic status. SCSTYP means type of school, that is public or private. PROG means type of program, that is general, academic, or vocational. Read means reading score, write means writing score, math score, science score, and SOCST means social science score. Social studies, sorry, this is social science, this is social studies. Let me share with the screen. Uh, is the software screen is available to you? Uh, can anybody reply? Is the software screen available?
Yes, sir.
Visible to all of you?
It's a Word doc. Yes, sir. I can see comments.
There are two screens running on the same time. One is the Microsoft Word and the other is the SPSS window.
Microsoft Word. It's just a Word doc. Hello.
Hello?
Then it's just a Word document. Nothing else.
Just a minute, let me change it because I want to work simultaneously on both files. I think the both of the screens are there. One is the Microsoft Word file and other is the SPSS window. Am I right?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Both are the visible. That's what this is the start of the software. Let me introduce the software first of all to you. That on the left there are two tabs: data view, in which the data values are there, and the variable view. What I think the Excel lack is the variable view. Excel, Microsoft Excel has that only data view. If you want to add the key to the data values, then it's not easy for the researcher until unless it is briefly described at the end or the start of the file by the researcher that what the variable means. But in IBM SPSS, there are two different tabs where it explains everything. The first thing I want to discuss about the variable view. Variable view always start with the variable name. Variable name may in variable name always make it sure that variable always start from the alphabets, no matter it is in the small letters or the capital letter. It doesn't matter. But variable name always start from the alphabet. The first variable I have in the variable name list is ID. And if you press the tab button, you see that this is the built-in things which have been there. We can reduce the width as many as we want. We can remove the decimal points. Label is a very important thing where you can labelize the variable. What is I have written in the description, that is student ID. No variable, no values are required. Levels are not there. In fact, the levels will be described in the values button. And then gender. I will enter the G. If I go with the gender, capital starting gender, and now numeric. Okay, I reduce it to the two decimal place, two width with no decimal places. This is the start, and this is the gender of student. Gender of student. And then the values are there. First, if when you click on this radio button, I think there is a problem with the software. So visualization problem. Let me work only with the SPSS. Is it okay now? Only SPSS visible only?
Yes, sir. SPSS is clearly visible now.
Okay. The third variable was race, student race. I write in the student race RACE numeric and reducing because I do not need so much space for this and no decimal point required. Race of student. Values are there. Gender, first of all, I will complete this. Gender 0, obviously, usually taken as for female, but here I'm 0 taking as the male and press enter and 1 for female. Press enter, add, and then OK. If you see, this has been changed to this value labels. Similarly, the race of student is I'm changing with the 1 with Hispanic, 2 with Asian, 3 with African, and 4 with white, and pressing OK. The next variable was in the file SES, socioeconomic status of the student family. SES. I do not require so much space for this. And similarly, not for this, I reduce. No requirement of decimal. That is socio-economic status. Again, this is the ordinal variable. Oh, let me change this. This is the male and the measurement is nominal. This is ordinal and this is also ordinal. Socioeconomic 1 for low, 2 for middle, 3 for high. And press OK. And similarly, we have to introduce all the variables which are our interest. And I have a file that contains the complete data. That is this one. Is it okay? Is it visible to everyone? This complete file?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I'll discuss with the SES school type of school, or you can say you can write as race of student. And as I have discussed with the Hispanic, Asian, African American, white, and similarly school type, that is public or private, that is program type, general, academic, or vocational. If you want, if you look at this, if you want to change this, just write over here vocational and just click the change button. It will be changed. Okay. If you want to add, you have added something wrong, you can remove it and then add the new one. The read, you look at this. This is the nominal. Race, SES, school type, program. These are the ordinal variable. And read, write, math, science, SOCST has the scale variable. Right? Okay. This is the main file which I had for you. Now we're going to start the basic analysis. What are the basic analysis for the SPSS? What can we do with the nominal, ordinal, and the scale variable? Now we move on to the data view. You can just see that there are the values 100. If you want to check with any variable, just click at the top of the variable and SPSS variable view will be opened with that one. I reduced its SP, and now look at this. Gen, decimal points has been removed. Similar can be done with the gender. We do not require. Okay. This is the data file in front of you. First, start with the gender variable. How many males and how many females are there in the file? Imported data not visible. Okay, Miss Amna, import. I have already the Excel file, and I okay. Let me show you how to import the data. For this, I have to come multiple time, change the screen. So I will discuss it later on. Please hold on. The first method is to a descriptive. I need the frequencies or the descriptive. Since we are dealing only with the nominal variable, that is the gender of the data, so I go with the frequencies. Here are the list of the all variables with their types: ID, scale, gender with nominal, race, type of school program, and the reading. These are the scale variable. These letters shows that these are the scale variable. This mark shows that these are the ordinal, and these three balloons or these three circles shows this is the nominal variable. I go with the gender first and check there are some commands available on the right side. If I click the statistic first, it will give me the mean, median, mod, or sum. I go with the median and the mod because mean is not good for the nominal variable. This is not a good commanded quantity to calculate. Minimum and maximum, you know, there are only two categories, one for the female and zero for the male. So I will go with this one. Continue. Now charts. The basic charts are available. I suggest not to go with the pie chart because the data analysis do not suggest for the pie charts if for the two categories are there. Histograms are also available, but I go with the bar charts and I do some sort of now the chart values. This is important if you want with the frequencies or percentage. First we go want to see the frequencies, how many males and females are there. We can continue. Format, it is ascending values. Style is check, please check this box that it is checked. Display frequency tables and press OK. I have to move frequently with the share sites. This is the result. This is the variable viewer, output viewer. If you see, this is the output one, document one, IBM SPSS statistics viewer. This is the file where all the results are placed after the analysis. We are observing there are 91 male and 109 female. This window is specifically designed by the IBM SPSS statistics to view all the operations you carried on the data and their results. In Microsoft Excel, all the results are there in the current available worksheet, but in IBM SPSS, there is another window opened by the SPSS that is called the SPSS viewer file. That is output viewer. if I move on to the basic data, look at this. This is the data view. If you see data editor view, this is the data only, variable type, variable definitions, and the data variable data view. But there is another file that is called output viewer, and all the documented things will be here. Means from where you have loaded the file and everything. We discuss with the frequencies first. The first table shows that how many values are there. If it is there are no missing observations, so missing is 0. Median is 1, mod is 1. Why mod is 1? The mod has the maximum number of observation. And this is the gender. Frequency is available 200 out of 200. If you want to show how many values are there for male and female on this graph, not showing this table, then just click on this graph. There is another window open. Known as the chart editor. Just click on that. Any bar you can, if you double click on any bar, you will see another window called properties of these chart. Clicking on this, you will see this one. I repeat, just double click the graph. If you want to change the color of the graph, you can even do that. Chart size can be changed, color can be easily changed, or if you want to do some sort of analysis, you look at this. If you do not want to show this one, right? And when you close this chart editor, all the changes you have made will be appear in the output viewer. Is this output viewer available to you?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay. Now I will work over here. I have done with my data. All the basic requirements are done. Data is there. All the commands are even available in the output viewer, right? There is a command that called the recall. This button recalls the last options, last commands you have done with that. I recall, press it and click frequencies again. I replace the gender back, and now I want to see what is the race of the student. I can add socioeconomic activity, status, type of school, and type of programs. These are all of you can add more than one variable on this variable list. Keeping the median unchecked, click and the charts. Uh, Now I suggest the pie charts because there are more than two categories. Although it is not a good choice, but for more than two categories, it is adoptable. Now I continue this and click OK. I have checked. Make sure that this check is there. Display frequency tables because it will discuss the number of output for you. And look at this frequencies. First, race of the student 24, Hispanic 11, Asian 20, American, African, and 145 are the. Look at the percentage. This percentage is very important because at the next level, I will do goodness of fit test on this variable. So this is approximately, I will take, this is approximately 12%, 5%, and 10%, and the maximum percentage is of white people, that is 72.5%. Socioeconomic status. Let me tell one thing that is very important over here. In Microsoft Excel, this is socioeconomic status. As you see that in this data file, variable view, if you do not write something over here, look at this. All those things will appear in the result which you have given here at the title, right? Race of students, socioeconomic status. If you do not write anything, as this was the nothing is written over their gender, so it will take just the variable name. It will consider what is gender. If if you write the label over here, for example, gender of student, then the variable name, sorry, the variable name will appear at the top, like this one. Look at this word, only gender, which is the name of the variable. But in the race of the student, the variable name was the race, but its value is label was the race of the student. So race will not appear, but the label will appear over here, the race of the student. In Microsoft Excel, you have to type again, give the title and move so many operations you have to perform there. But in IBM SPSS, it is already there. If you want to transpose the table, you can easily do that. Just double click the table, a new window will appear. This is formatting. You can transpose table properties. You can change according to the requirement. For example, borders. If you want to change like this one, you can perform. Printing, how it will look like. Cell format, you can perform everything over here. You can change the type of the text size. Notes, if you want to enter some notes. Comments you can type, and general, this will look like. Okay, moving ahead. This is the socioeconomic status variable. 47 belongs to low category, middle 95, high is 58. Type of school, public are the 168 students belong to the public school. 32 belongs to the private school. Type of program, general are 45, academics are 105, and vocational are 50. This is, look at this, the very first race of the student, socioeconomic status, type of school, and type of program. I go with this one first of all, and see what we can do this. If you see this, if you click on this, there is a hint appears, double click to activate this. Double click, and now this is the point. Explode slice. If you want to go with the slice, click this button. It will automatically show like this. This point show data labels. Horizontal top, look at this. Horizontal, if you want to change this top down, apply, what will happen? Bottom up, text, top down, look at this. Again, this is the data label mode, 145, 24, 11, and 20. I just want to change it. If you do not like this, you can remove it. Okay, you can perform with chart types. This has been sliced. Hispanic with this one color, Asian with this color, African American this color, and white are the major portion, that is about 72.5%. Now I move on to the scale variables. Analyze, descriptive, and then descriptive. Make sure you select the scale variable over here. Click this one, options. Now there are so many options available. That is called descriptives of the data. I need standard deviation, that is built in. Minimum and maximum is available, that is built in, checked. If I need the range, that is available. If I need the skewness and kurtosis, that is available. And then I click OK. And click OK. Now you see this. I have checked only one variable over here. Reading score. Range statistics is 48, minimum is 28, maximum value is 76 in these reading scores. Mean is 52.23, standard deviation of this is 10.25. Skewness is 0.196, is the standard error 1.172, and kurtosis is minus 0.623. Let me take the graph of this. Okay, hold on. I will take the descriptives of the other variable first. Taking this back, reading, selecting others, maths, science, and social studies. Options, what I have, okay, okay. I just want to show that in the nominal or ordinal variable, these are frequency tables. For every variable, there is a separate table because the categories are different. As you see, race is different, economic status is different, type of school is different, and type of program is different. But in the descriptive, as many variables as you want to add, the variables will be on the same table with the descriptive statistics on the this side. Right? This is the good thing available in the IBM SPSS. The writing score, there are 200 observation for each variable. Range is given. You can find the mean is there, 52.7, 52.64, 51.85, and 52.40 with the social studies. Let me change this variable name of the, I have written wrongly, mistake is there. So I go back. This is the good thing. I go back with the data and check it that this is wrongly written. So if I redo that, descriptives, same, and okay, look at this. Over here, the variable name was wrongly typed, but over here the variable name is correctly typed. No change in the answer descriptives of the variables. Right? These are the basic descriptive, how to explain, how to find the basic descriptive. And now I will move on to the a bit advanced level of that, how to adopt the cross tabs. Number one, how to use the cross tabs for the qualitative variable. Then we will move on to the basic regression, and I will try my level best, if the time is there, logistic regression. But before applying the logistic regression, I will go with the t-test, how to test the variables. Is it, first of all, I will go with the cross tabs. Cross tabs is a technique basically used for the analysis of the qualitative variable. We can go with the goodness chi-square also with the goodness of fit. I will apply the goodness of it over here for the variable I discussed earlier, that I will apply the goodness of fit test at the variable race of the student. Okay, why two column percent of and valid percent? This is a good question. Let me tell you. If there are some missing observation, suppose there are some missing observation in type of photograms, or there will be another row over here. So overall percentage will remain this, but the valid percent will change. The valid percent will also include the missing observation. That's why the percent and the valid percent, two different columns are there. We usually use the frequencies and the percentage column, not the cumulative percent or the valid percent. If you want to change it, you can do it. You can just click the table and select this one and click delete. It will be deleted. Like this one. You can do the same performance over here. So first of all, I will go with the cross tabs. Click the analyze button. Just a minute, hold on please. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let's move on to the uh, cross tabs. I was discussing. Just click the descriptive, and you see there is a command available, cross tabs. Just click it, cross tabs. Now there are two different boxes, rows and column. Two major boxes are there. If I put gender in the rows and socioeconomic status in the columns and click the exact, that is okay, and click the statistics, second tab. We need the chi-square, or if there is a correlation between them, we can find it. There are the nominal tests available and the ordinal test available. As we have discussed in the previous slide, we can adopt Kendall's law, B-type, phi and Kramer's V rule, contingency coefficient we can find. So let's find the coefficient of contingency and then click OK. First, we go with the simple chi-square. What does it show? And then click OK. Okay, this is the summary of the statistic case processing summary. If you move down the count, there are 15 males who belongs to socioeconomic status as low, 47 male from the middle, and 29 males from the high. And we know that there are 91 males total. And one from among the 109 females, 32 belong to the low, middle 48, and high 29. And similarly, on the column total 47, 95, and 58, we have calculated above over there in the previous session before this. So now we go with the Pearson chi-square test. That value is 4.577 with 2 degrees of freedom. That is 0.1. It means that this is not a significant result because its value is greater than 0.05, greater than p value, minimum value. Interval by interval Pearson R, we calculated the symmetric measurement R, that is standard value is minus 0.125, minus 1 point. If ordinal by ordinal, then Spearman's correlation, that is minus 0.123. That is not a good one. Now I move on to the same and I check with the statistics contingency coefficient. Okay. I checked with the contingency coefficient, what is the value with that, and then press OK, and you will see that this is also not a significant value. Right? Now we move on to the another test, another variable. Moving these back, race and the socioeconomic status. Is there any relationship between them? I check with this chi-square first only. Chi-square check. Yes, there is a significant difference, significant relationship between the race of student and socioeconomic status of the student. This table shows the total count, and this is the chi-square results, that the Pearson chi-square value is significant at 0.005 value. Okay, there was a question by PhD scholar Miss Amna Gul, that why did we take race type of school as ordinary variable? not the nominal, because nominal are those which are we nominate universally, that the male and female, job type. But in this type of data, race of students and socioeconomic status, it has an order. So we use with the ordinal, we treat them with the ordinal variable, right? And similarly, the chi-square can be applied, cross type can be applied to any type of the variables, type of schools, and the any two different variables. For example, if you want to remove this and socioeconomic status and the type of program, you can go with that and check it. This is also significant relationship between the type of program and the socioeconomic status of the students. Now we move on to the goodness of fit. I take this goodness of fit from the non-parametric test. Click the non-parametric test, legacy dialogues, and the chi-square. Race. I suggested that race should be taken as a variable. This is the values, all categories equal. No, all categories are not of equal importance. Expected values are not equal. We define them Hispanic as 10. For example, click add for the first category. Number 2 was the Asian, also given 10. Number 3, African 10. And number 4, 70%, 70 values in the, or you can give the 40, 60 also, but here the percentage round about 5. In fact, this is what the Asian was 5, if I'm not wrong. Let me check it again at the top. Race of the student. Yes, 12, 5, 10, 72. The percentages are there, but in the goodness of chi-square, goodness of it, I use this values, taking it Hispanic race of the student, check with whether the goodness of it applies or not. I give it 10, add Asian as 10, add African as 10, add, and white as 70. You can give it 60 as per your exact is similar. Just click, leave it. If you need the descriptives are also there, quartiles are also there. So we click OK. Okay, we see that the goodness of its results that this is not a significant variable. Race of the student is there, expected. Observed was 24, expected is 20, residual 4. Asian is -9, African 0, because we are given the values, same values. There is no difference. A white American is 5, and we go with the 5.0. Chi-square value is 5.029. And with the 3 degree of freedom, because there were 1, 2, 3, 4 variables, and chi-square degree of freedom is, for goodness of it, is k-1. So degree of freedom is 3, and significant values is 0.17, which is higher than the critical value 0.05. So the goodness of it test is not good for this. Yeah, it is not good significant result. For this, for the time being, I am stopping the share of the screen because I want to show something else to you. If you have a question, meanwhile, please type in. Moving back to the data. Now I will discuss a little bit thing with you, the type of data, data type, data variable view window. Moving ahead, there are some available commands at the in the data view. If you click this one to A to one, what happens? I didn't discuss it earlier because I want to show something to you that on which you can apply t-test or the simple regression line. For your verification, which variables are ready for the t-test, just click on this. You see that these variables were 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. There are some values. In the gender column, there are 0, 1. In the race, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the SCS, 1, 2, 3. School type, 1, 2. Program, 1, 2, 3. If we click this key, value labels, you see read, write, math, science, SOCT didn't change, but the gender, race, SCS, school type, and program changed to the alphabets. If you just draw, if in this low category SCS for the variable line 107, if you put 4 over here, although there was only 3 variables, it will show you that this is the wrong value. This has not been converted to the value label. So you have to check and press the 1 for the low and enter. It will be converted to the category as specified. Now I move on to these scale variables. First of all, I will apply the t-test. T-test on the two different variables, read score and write score. Simple t-test is there for the separately applied to the read score and the write score. For example, we have discussed the mean and standard deviation of the read and write score, which is approximately 52, something like that. If we go to the variable view, yes, I will go with the ANOVA. Just hold on. With more than two categories, or if the more than two, when we will apply more than two variables, then we will move on to ANOVA. Comparison of more than two means. But first, read score and the write score. Click on the analyze and then compare means. One sample t-test, and look at this reading score. We know that the mean average was test were about 50 or 52 something. We gave it 50. That on the average student obtained the 50 scores, 15 marks in the reading score. Clicking on the option, I confidence level 95%. You can increase this value as per your requirement, right? So, but built in there is 95%. I will go with this built-in value. So we click on this, okay, and we move on to the output viewer. Look at this. The mean average score was 52.28230 with the standard deviation 10.25294, and the sample test shows the degree of freedom at k n minus 1 because we have 200 observation. The t degree of freedom is 200 minus 1 is 199. We computed the value 3.076, and the significant, yes, this is a significant variable, different on the average. Test value was 50. We have approximately assume that the test value, the test minimum score, the mean score of the students is 50. But this, on the other hand, the alternative hypothesis was no, the mean score obtained by the student is not equal to 50. Yes, we reject our null hypothesis H naught and conclude on the basis of this significant value two tail test, that 0.02, which is 002, which is less than 0.05, means 5%. So there is a difference. The mean score of the student is greater than 50. So this is the mean difference value, and the lower value, 95% confidence interval is this one. The lower value is this, and upper value is this. I'm worried why it is not being opened, although it works with the that properties changes. You can easily transform the variable the table transpose. You can easily, but I worried why it is not being there. So similarly, we apply another test, t-test, on the writing score. Is the writing score different or is significant or not? Taking the mean value is similarly equal to 50. We check that what happens with this variable writing score. Yes, it is highly significant. You can see the test value is 50. And the t value for the writing score is greater than the reading score. For the reading score, t value was 3.076, but for the writing score, it is 4.140. And it is highly significant at 0.000, less than 5%. Highly significant result. Now we move on to the one another thing. I ask a question about two variables, writing and reading. Just write the relationship between the writing and reading scores. That does the writing score depends on the reading or reading score depends on writing? What do you say? I repeat, does the writing score depends on reading score or the reading score depends on writing score? My question, I repeat, there are two variables, reading score and writing score. Yes, I will share the definitely. I will definitely share the SPSS file and the uh, data file with Sir Gohar so that he can forward it to you. Miss Neha says that reading scores depends on writing. Okay. Reading and writing both are interdependent. Okay. Next, any other option? I repeat my question. Does the reading score depends on writing or the writing score depends on reading? Both reading and writing are interdependent. Okay, reading score depends on writing score. Anyone else? My perspective is writing ought to depend on reading, but still, I guess both are independent. Both are independent. Okay, writing is depending on reading score. Yes. Okay, as it is one sample t-test, so maybe it is interdependent. No, I'm taking both variables at the same time to apply the regression. One should be independent and one should be dependent. I'm moving ahead to the regression, linear regression. Taking one variable as dependent and the other variable as independent. I definitely will calculate the R correlation coefficient between them. But first, I want to discuss which variable is dependent and which variable is independent. Writing score is dependent on reading score. Abdul Hafiz Uksar Ahmad. Yes, Hafiz sir, I agree with this phenomena that if you have the good reading habit, you can write good. If you do not have the good reading habit, you cannot write a good paper or something else what you want to write. You should increase your reading to write something good. So in my perspective, what I suggest that reading is the independent and the writing is dependent. So for this, I go for the regression. And this linear. Click analyze, regression, and then linear. Dependent is what? Writing score. Independent is what? Reading score. Do not click this one. This is the simple regression model. So the method is enter. There are different methods, remove stepwise, remove, backward and forward. These are the very little bit advanced method to adopt. Statistics, I need the estimate, confidence interval, model fit, R square, change, descriptive. I have already with that. Covariance matrix, I do not require. Do we need the plots? Yes, we can use the plot, histogram, normal probability plot. Continue options checkering. If you go with the option, remain it same, and then please press OK. You see, this is a basic model summary. The variable enter removed, that is enter dependent variable, is the writing score. All requested variables entered. Variable entered reading score. Dependent variable is writing score. Model summary is that there is 0.597 correlation coefficient is 0.597, means that is a moderate type correlationship between the reading and writing. Art square is 0.356, that is not good enough. Adjusted art square is about 3.353. And then I move on to the next table, that is ANOVA. This is not that kind of ANOVA that thank you, Miss Alvina. Yes, you are very right. Writing is always dependent on reading. If you want to be a good researcher, you read and read the multiple papers of the scholars of the your field. This is not the like the ANOVA we are dealing with we will deal with the multiple means, but this is the summary of the statistic that there is a regression with model is significant. Means this coefficient model, this regression model is very highly significant with these type of variable, these type of coefficients. Constant is 23.959. If you do not read, you can write about 23. What you can give, if you do not read your books, you do not get knowledge from the by reading, you can produce approximately 23 24 marks. But if you go with the reading every single paper, your marks will be improved by 0.552 unit. And both are significant. This is very important. Sometimes the constant becomes insignificant and the independent variable becomes significant, and similarly the other thing, right? And the residual statistics are there. This is the histogram. This is about the standardized normal variable, means approximately writing score is normal. If you see the distribution of the normal standard normal variable, standard error distribution, then residual standardized variable, then this is approximately normal. And this is the regression plot. This line is the estimated line. If you see this black line as the estimated line, and these are the dots of the original observation line on the graph. This is the probability graph. You can draw the scatter plot for this type of data. For example, let me find the scatter plot of this type of data for these two variables, reading and writing. Analyze graph, legacy dialog. Now you can check the line graph. Simple, very simple. Group of cases, define, or let me chart builder, use the chart builder. Line graph, reading depends on, reading is independent and writing is dependent. Click OK. You see this is the data. If you plot the simple data on the graph, so this is the simple line of writing score by reading score. The minimum is this value, and then there are 200 observation, up and downs, and up and downs are there. This chart is very important for the sake of your research writing, that the normal PP plot for regression standardized with residuals are very important if you submit your paper. Now I move on to the another question of the ANOVA table. ANOVA can be categorized like this. Could be this one. Compare means one way ANOVA. Dependent variables. Every score, I suggest every score depends on your reading. This is important. What I have clicked the post hoc, all the equal variances assumed when if we assume the variances are equal, then we use these. If they are not equal, then we use these tests. But for if we assume that equivariances are equal, just for the sake of the simple calculation for this, prefer the LSD least significance difference test, and then continue. And one thing, this is the significance level built in 0.05, and click OK. You see a table over here that math score is highly, everything is highly, every variable is highly significant with respect to the reading. This is the F ratio calculated, ANOVA table, more than one group. So this is the basic ANOVA available for you guys. I have discussed the cross-tab regression, t-test, ANOVA, goodness of fit. Any other thing you want to ask? This is all from my side. I'm now open for the questions. These are the basic. Oh yes, one thing is remaining. That is explore command. F value. F value is basically the comparison of the variables, variances. Variances are compared in terms that the two variances are compared with the condition that the higher value will be in the numerator and the smaller value will be in the denominator. This is the basic theme of the F value. F value in this ANOVA table is that 5%, 5.630, comparing the other with the other variable, which was I suggest taken as one way math score sort writing by read. If you read this table, the read is the factor. Let me show you this one, which will play the important role in this analysis of variance table. Main factor is the reading score. If your reading is good, you can get good marks in these results, in these subjects: math, science, social studies, and writing. This is the main factor, reading score. So comparing with that, we get this one. One thing I left, that is the explore command. Let me tell you, dependent and factor list. First of all, I check dependent. I suggest that gender and dependent, you can select this one, and gender in the factor label cases by gender. Okay, what is this cross tab type? Three things will be there. If there is an outlier, you can find percentiles, you can find options are available, plots are available, factor reversal, factor levels, or stem and leaf. If you want to get the stem and leaf plot, descriptive type stem and leaf, you can find it. Normality plots with test, you can easily find it. Options, let it. And if you want to display both statistics and plot, then click both. If you just want to click statistics, we have done with this. Suggest plots, and then OK. This is a stem and leaf. This is normal QQ plot. This is the box plot. Stem and leaf for the economic state, socioeconomic status. This is the basic explore command. We report generally generate the case summary at the start of the very file. If you have some sort of data file given to you by some researcher or your friend, first of all, we go with the case summaries, analyze reports, case summaries. This will explain everything between the of the variables, right? Limit cases for first, I reduce it to 50. Valid cases show case numbers, not necessary. I do not need any sort of statistics. I have done with all. And then you see that first 50 observation, case summary. First 50 observations are there. If you want to go with the complete data, you can include the reports in 200 samples. You can include limit case, you can uncheck this and it will display everything. If you do not want to display cases, it will remove everything. And just look at this. 200 observation, cases excluded, nothing, no percentage, how many, no total are there. This is a case summary. And similarly, gender of students, all the variables are explained with no missing observation. Okay, let me take your questions. What is the criteria to conduct the post hoc test in ANOVA? It depends. What are the type of the variables you are using? Is it the variable you are using is able to adopt the post hoc test or not? Can you please do ANOVA with post hoc Tucky test? Okay. Tucky test nahi hai, this is Tucky test hai. Okay. Let me do this. Analyze. Repeat command one way ANOVA and post hoc LSD, removing LSD and the Tucky's test. Tucky's B is available also, but if you have done some call it Tucky test, but I call it Tucky test. Continue and click OK, and you see it's still there. These are significant results. Post hoc tests are not performed for mass score because at least one group has fewer than 2 cases. Right? If you apply the Tucky test, the results will be same. No differences there. Any other question, please? That's all from my side. The basics are there. What I have to do, what I have registered with. I think I have done more than what was the agenda of the basic, more than basic.
Thank you so much, sir. I will launch the Zoom polling. All the participants are requested to please respond to that. And meanwhile, you can type your comments and your questions in the chat box, and Sarasa will respond to that. Thank you so much, Sarasa, for conducting such an informative session.
I wish this should be, I just can wish that it should be conducted physical, the
Yes, sir,
physical basis.
we're taking notes on that.
I hope that
Working
in
on
the
that.
future it will be.
We have a comment from Miss Amna Gul. Sir, you did a marvelous job at giving us a thorough undertaking of SPSS. Jazakallah. We have Hafiz Rukhsar Ahmed. So please tell the criteria of post hoc test in which we use post hoc test after ANOVA. So you have a
After
question.
ANOVA, no, post hoc is the basic. When we apply the ANOVA, then we take care of the post hoc test. F value is the value that is basically used for the comparison of the variances. When the variances are not dependent on each other, independent variables, independent variances are there. And F value is usually calculated for the analysis of variance when you have more than two groups under studies. For example, if you have in this file, you have five different types of scores. So if you compare with which we assume that all the scores are equal, but on the other hand, at least one of them is different from the rest. Then we adopt the ANOVA, and for the interpretation of ANOVA calculation for the values of ANOVA, we use the F statistic. And
Thank you,
F
sir.
value is positively skewed, not the negatively skewed, not the you can say like the normal distribution. No, it is not the symmetric distribution. Is positively skewed depending on the two different types of degree of freedoms.
Next, we have a comment from Miss Amber Sheikh that as a mathematician, it's really interesting to have an overview of SPSS.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Samna says that sorted out, Alhamdulillah. Miss Neha Nadeem from FCCU says, thank you, sir. I see only 34 participants have responded to the polling out of more than 50. So you're all requested to please poll. Thank you, sir. The session was really helpful. Bless you, Ms. Neha Nadeem again. So I'll end the polling now. And there is another question from Dr. Subia Jameel.
No, not necessary. Chi-square can be adapted for more than, if you go with the 2x2 table, this is basically the testing of association, but for the more than two ordinal or nominal variable, we can still adopt the chi-square value test. Yes, it is possible.
Dr. Abdul Alim Khan says, excellent session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And that's pretty much it. We'll turn into it. Thank you so much, Sir Asif, once again for conducting such an informative session and for answering all the queries. And we hope to see you next year for the same session. And we try our level
Thank you.
best to do it in person now.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.